So I cannot wait for you to experience it with us. It's an amazing journey. There's alignment in areas that somehow, it seems like there's people that try to create polarization where none exists.
Right.
And that's an interesting thing to observe, and interesting firsthand that you got to do via screening of a movie. That these varying people come together that seem like an odd assembly.
Yeah.
So when you now are out there, because you've had your context from where you started, where you are now, you're in this unique environment called Hollywood, and have a lot of years of experience in it. And you recognize your pre-Christian self in other people who are in the jungle as you described it. What is the compulsion you feel inside, if any, to reach out and to kind of share with them?
The compulsion is to love them. And the compulsion is to enter into conversations about their values. And, it's funny, there was a gal, I'll tell you another story. There was a gal who was very new age when I was working at the talent agency. And we had this really weird room. It was a really odd shaped room. And she was all about feng shui. And she used to say, your office is horrible. It's horrible feng shui. Like there's really bad things that are gonna happen in here because of the feng shui. And I'm like, okay, I've been there, done that. Like I don't think anything of that. So it was kind of like this trapezoid, and this one day, another agent that was working there was trying to take some aspirin, and one of them dropped and rolled under the desk, and she climbed under the desk, and she screamed. And it's like, what? I thought it was like a dead mouse or something. And she said, there's rocks down here, there's rocks like this. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I don't want to touch it, I don't want to touch it. So this sweet, sweet girl had been so concerned about the feng shui in our office that she actually placed crystals in our office in this corner where she said all the bad energy was. So I crawl under, and here's somebody that doesn't want to touch the crystals because they think all the bad energy has been sucked up into those crystals. And so now we're on our hands and knees under this desk, and I grab the crystals and the aspirin that had rolled there, and I said, these are rocks. The only thing that has any power is that aspirin. That's the only thing that it can affect your mind and your body right now, is that aspirin. These are rocks. They do not have power. There is power in the world. There is power that we can't see, but it's not here. And so then to be able to go back to this sweet girl and take these crystals and to say to her, this was so sweet of you. Thank you for how you want to care for us and protect us. And then to say, with these crystals in my hand, to say, I used to believe in the healing power of crystals, the protective power of crystals, but I just don't believe it anymore. So, and she said, why? And that's how we entered into that conversation. If I had come to her and thrown the rocks at her and said, how dare you? That would have been completely different. Her desire was to love us. And if you take something like, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but even the abortion issue, right? Which is as divisive an issue as you can get with Christians on both sides,
Right.
and with non-Christians on both sides. At the heart of that is valuing a human being on both sides.
Right.
And so how do we take that value, when you talk about the strange bedfellows, of rather than standing opposed, how do we say, at the heart of what's important to you is the value of the mother, and what's the heart of what's important to you is the value of the unborn child? Is there a way to value both of those without having to sometimes literally kill the other?
Right.
There's got to be some way that we can value these things. We just haven't found the answer yet. And so how do we do that? And the more that we force our agendas without listening, I mean, gosh, what's happening in America right now is so sad, that we just don't listen. We just want to get our point across. And that's not who Jesus is. Jesus did as much listening as he did talking. And Jesus never forced himself really upon anybody. He stood against the religious community, honestly, of that time, because it wasn't authentic. And so we have to find ways that we model that without trying to overshout, overspeak, drive our point home. We gotta find ways of coming back to civil discussion. You know, it's interesting, William Wilberforce, who championed ending slavery in England, and did it through their government without, we went to war, right? We killed each other over that issue. Wilberforce legislatively kept attacking that issue, legislatively. The next most important issue next to slavery was civil discussion. That was what if he hadn't gotten sick, that's what he was going to take up next, is how can we gather together as citizens of this country and talk to each other in such a way that we can have a civil discussion as opposed to a civil war.
That's it for this particular interview. Thanks for joining me. Really excited to take this ongoing journey with you as we keep bringing more content. If you haven't already, you really should subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of phenomenal content coming down the road into the future that you'll want to know about. Leave a comment down here. I think people would love to hear from you, and then you can hear from them too. If you liked it, go ahead and give a like. It only takes half a second, and share this with people that you care about. The world needs more light in it right now. So thanks for being with me. Hope to connect with you again soon.